Hey, Leslie, welcome back to Pondering Podcast. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited for our conversation today. We listened to Everything Life Coaching, the October 15th, 2021 episode called Building Confidence as a Coach. I loved this one because it had three great takeaways on how to build confidence, not only just for ourselves as coaches, either if we're starting out or if we're, venturing into something new, or for our clients when they're working on confidence. So I thought it was a really great way of applying it to both things, or both, ourselves and the people that we're working with. And the three things were optimism, extrovertism, and self-efficacy. And I thought those were, interesting little nuggets that they planted for a conversation for us to kind of put out there to our community of coaches, and how we can build upon that. How can we build upon being optimistic in what we do? How can we use being an extrovert even if we're not, so that means pushing ourselves, so that we can build that community and get the word out there and have the support we need? How can we have self-efficacy and pave the way for ourselves and get out there and try? So I thought it was really a great, short conversation. It was only 17 minutes, on the Everything Life Coaching. And I thought this would be a great one for our community. So what was your takeaway after listening to it?
So I will say start after 2 minutes because they talk about cuckoo clocks and
That's true. I forgot about that.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
So then I did really like it. I liked the back and forth between the two people that run this podcast. I think for me, optimism was something that, I think that that's really important to focus on. It seems like the one that should be obvious, but I think it's the one that's easiest to slip because we catch ourselves in these moments of being a pessimist. Like, I can't find clients, or I don't have, and back to that should conversation, right? Like they should be moving faster. And then you start to sort of spiral into why everything's the worst
That
or
is for
everything's
sure.
going badly. So I think keeping that optimistic mindset and then for me, I am an extrovert by nature. So that one, I wasn't as, I don't know, telling for me, or something that I felt like I really needed to work on to build confidence. Because I think in that aspect, I can like jump into a group of people and talk about business and or talk about anything. But the self-efficacy was the one that really hit kind of hard, hit home for me, because they talked about having self-compassion. And I think with perfectionist tendencies, like we've talked about in the past, and that go, 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 doer mindset, driver. I'm one of those, whatever, they give you all those tests and you get the letters. I'm like the driver that is extroverted, that's go, go, go. Like that's me. So having that self-compassion to say like, it's okay to trip and fall. They brought up, you need to give yourself that space and to give yourself room and to really practice that these failures are not failures, but chances to learn and change and figure things out. And to not let being a perfectionist hold you back. That's the other thing. I think we talked about the newsletter or the email blast, and how, I feel like I can't do it right. It keeps getting pushed. It's still getting pushed. But maybe if I continue to talk about it.
Optimism. Look at you. There you go.
It's one of those things that I'll end up doing, but just jump in. Don't be a self-critic. Just go for it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think our podcast thing here, our Pondering podcast, was something that we just ripped the Band-Aid off of. The idea popped up and it was like, can we do that? Can we just go live? Like it started off as we're going to go live, right? And that felt, who's going to watch us live? But then it was like, okay, well, let's just do it. Let's just record one and see what it looks like. And so that for me was kind of there we are. We're showing up, even though we're not perfect at this. We're not experts at this. But we believe in it. We have passion behind it. We are learning from it too. So this experience is for us and to build this community and to build our businesses. And that is how you build the confidence. I mean, if we watched our first recording, I think we've gotten better. I'm not gonna lie.
I have to agree, you know, a lot more comfortable. I think we might have had a retake on that first one, like, oh, nope, we got to start over. And that's that having that optimism to come and show up again, you know, and that self-efficacy to try and to do things, which I think, you know, even this is showing that ability. And your newsletter, like I haven't done that yet, you know, but it's there, you know, being optimistic in yourself and what you have to offer. And maybe that's a rip the band-aid off, and it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know, I really liked how you were talking about failure. You know, I think a lot about like fail forward, being letting failure be your springboard, you know, so you're there, you're bouncing, like, am I going to dive in? Am I going to dive in? And then when are you going to do it? You either go back down the ladder, nobody wants to go back down the ladder,
Right.
or you jump in. And so how can we use failure to spring forward? And I also liked one thing they mentioned about the 5 people around you or who are like affecting your energy. And I think of that in the sense of like this community, having a coaching community that supports each other helps us grow, helps us move forward, helps us believe that, yeah, we can do this, you know, later today or even tomorrow, and hopefully in years to come. And I think that it really spoke to me of like the energy that is around me, how it affects me, who I surround myself with, who I read, who I follow, how I put myself out there. Really, you know, kind of just ignited an awareness of, you know, the people around me, how are they affecting me, good or bad? What do I do with that? How can I choose to still be that optimistic person? Because I think many of us coaches are, you know, at the end they say, if you're optimistic, if you have, you know, if you're an extrovert, if you have self-efficacy and you're helping others do this, then you might be a lot, you know, going down the life coach path. I think we've all come to life coaching in different ways and for different reasons. And I think, you know, we're offering something to our clients that is important and is a journey for them too. So I really liked this podcast. I thought it was, you know, short, sweet. I liked the conversation between the two of them, you know, a 15-minute listen after you fast forward a little bit. And, you know, just an opportunity to open up that idea of, you know, let yourself slip and fall. Let yourself, you know, be around a group of people that are going to help you, you know, get back up. And I hope that's what we're doing here.
Yeah. And I think too, it ties into, we've talked before about like the imposter syndrome and how if you can just jump in and you can build that confidence and you can go at it again and try again, then you're not going to feel that imposter syndrome because you're doing it. Right. Yep. And the more you do it, the more confident you are in it. I think
absolutely
that's anything that we do in our lives. So this was, yeah, very encouraging, gave us something to think about, gave us some targets to focus in on instead of not being confident. Focus your attention on being optimistic, having self-efficacy, and being an extrovert as much as you can, and that confidence will show up.
Yeah. You know, they talked about like the fitness piece of it, you know, that this takes practice. Confidence doesn't just come because you're arrogant, or confidence doesn't just, you know, come with reading a book. It comes with doing. And I thought that that was a big takeaway for me, that, you know, if I looked back a year ago and I was going to take on a new client and how I'd feel then versus when I am taking on, you know, a new client now, a very different feeling. And I think that's only purely because I've had it. I'm trying, I'm putting myself out there and having the experience and building and growing and learning and applying. So the confidence comes with that effort and extra, you know, willingness to be vulnerable. So I thought it was a great lesson. A good find, hopefully a nugget for our community. I'd love to hear back from what other people are thinking and what kind of sparked their interest or maybe was an aha moment. So please share below, and we'll be back again next week for another Pondering podcast. If you have one that you've listened to recently and like to share to our group, please send a message and we will get it out for all of us to benefit from. So thanks, Leslie, for joining me today and sharing in the conversation. I appreciate it. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.